Hey, this is Ciderhelm, and welcome to the Vainglory Hero Spotlight. Today we're looking at Krul, a hero who just seems to survive everything. Krul seeks release from his eternal curse, but nothing he touches seems capable of bringing his misery to an end. Instead, most of his opponents have learned that the best way to deal with him is to keep their distance. When Krul stands still and brush for a few moments, his Shadows Empower Me perk kicks in, granting him a large burst of movement speed the next time he leaves the brush. While this bonus is active, his next basic attack will also apply a strong slow to his target. Krul's Dead Man's Rush dashes him to his target, dealing both weapon and crystal damage and applying on-hit effects such as Aftershock, and it also grants Krul a temporary barrier. The overdrive on this ability significantly increases both the base crystal damage and the strength of the barrier. I recommend learning and upgrading Dead Man's Rush second, but taking the overdrive instead of the final rank of Krul's ultimate. Krul's Spectral Smite passively causes all of his basic attacks and abilities to apply weakness to enemies, decreasing their attack speed and crystal power. This effect stacks, meaning consecutive attacks can leave an enemy struggling to fight back. Additionally, each stack grants Krul bonus lifesteal when attacking the target, allowing him to quickly regenerate health lost at the start of the fight. The overdrive on this ability significantly increases this lifesteal. Krul can activate Spectral Smite to deal a burst of crystal damage to his target and heal himself. This consumes the stacks on his target, with each stack increasing the strength of the damage and healing. The overdrive further increases the damage and healing from activating Spectral Smite. In all circumstances, I recommend learning Spectral Smite at level 1, upgrading it first, and taking its overdrive as soon as possible. Krul's ultimate, From Hell's Heart, causes him to throw his sword in a targeted direction, dealing crystal damage to any enemies it passes over. Once the sword reaches its maximum range, it will turn around and return to Krul. If the sword hits an enemy hero, it will stun and slow them. The duration of the stun is increased based on how far the sword has traveled, meaning it can last much longer if Krul manages to hit a hero while the sword is on its return path. I recommend learning From Hell's Heart at level 6, but only upgrading it once you've upgraded both abilities and taken their overdrives. In the utility category, Boots, Warhorn, and Shiversteel are all strong core items for Krul, who can otherwise struggle to stick to slippery opponents. On the crystal side, Aftershock and Frostburn offer strong benefits. The cooldown acceleration from Aftershock allows you to more quickly dash to new targets and use Spectral Smite again during teamfights, while Frostburn offers even more stickiness. On the weapon side, Blazing Salvo is a good early item to help build weakness stacks quickly. Upgrading this item later in the game or picking up other weapon items can allow you to take advantage of increasing healing from lifesteal, though it's usually good to worry about utility and defense first. Speaking of defense, Crucible and Atlas Pauldron are great options to stay alive just long enough for weakness to kick in and swing the fight back your way. Krul's team has lost nearly every fight up to this point. As it becomes clear that the enemy team is headed towards their base, his teammates begin heading back. But Krul is staying put. The moment he sees his opponents have moved on, he makes a break for the Kraken. Krul isn't aware of the nearby scout trap, but the vision it provides simply doesn't matter. Both he and his team have been on the losing end of this match since it began, and his opponents are about to push into his base. If his opponents don't respond to him, he'll capture Kraken fairly easily. If they do, it means they've turned away from his base. His opponents lose their momentum in either situation, making this a smart tactical play. Scarf is the first to the fight. Though he's been carrying the team, he's hit with Krul's Dead Man's Rush and grazed by Celeste's ultimate at the same time, instantly cutting his health in half and forcing him to reposition. With another Dead Man's Rush, Krul captures the Kraken for his team. And with yet another Dead Man's Rush, Taka is dead and his teammates are routing Scarf and Catherine. Rather than join them, Krul wraps around the other side to cut them off from their escape and land 2 more killing blows. Though perhaps not the most exciting teamfight, this scenario speaks to Krul's core strengths. Krul is incredibly survivable, which makes him both a good duelist and great at handling objectives. And while it's true that his weakness is his short range, his affinity for brush and ambushes can offset this disadvantage. Further, with aggressive moves like the Kraken engagement, he can force enemies who would normally keep their distance to decide between engaging him or giving up the objective. With patience, deception, and a tactical mindset, Krul is among the very strongest heroes for controlling areas throughout the Halcyon Fold. Thanks for watching the Krul Hero Spotlight. Download Vainglory free on the Apple App Store and join us in the Halcyon Fold.